Welcome everybody, it's Sunday the 13th of June, so let's go through the markets. Welcome everybody, it's Sunday the 13th of June, so let's go through the markets. This is a weekly chart of the US dollar yen. The reason why I got the weekly up is because the daily is a bit indecisive. The daily has been under the 50 EMA all of last week, but here to me this looks as if it's getting ready to roll over. We are at the 8 and the 21 here. The 8 and the 21 are quite tightly compressed, but I think a failure of 91.5, and I think this could potentially drop quite hard. So this is probably the best setup of them all. Again, look at the daily. So I'm potentially looking for, so you've got a lot of resistance up here, which we're at on Friday, 91.6. I think value chart reading is just above the midline, so nothing. There's no really clear signals there. There's no 50 MA trigger bar, which is the ideal situation. Potentially a little bit of a shooting star coming off the 50 MA. I think a break of that 91.5 on the US dollar yen, and I think this could roll over. So that's what I'm looking for on the US dollar yen. Right, let's look at, see if there's any others. US dollar CAD. Right, called a short on this on Friday morning. Put an order in the book Thursday night. I am still short this one, although it is hanging on and the value chart reading is low. Let's have a look at the 60 minute. Yeah, okay, so I actually got short here. My analysis told me that this is a good level for entry. So it did move above my, so I did take some heat on Friday, but I am slightly in profit already. But again, because of the volatility in these markets, it's a tough call. So if the US dollar has got to show some weakness and the oil's got to show some strength for this to really work out, and at the moment not a great scope for that. I think we might just see a lot of sideways action. Obviously I'll manage my stop accordingly, but I think the US dollar yen is a better option than this US dollar CAD. Got a lot of support here and the value chart reading is low, so let's see if there's any others. Pound Aussie dollar, nice drop. So most of last week it's spent rolling over, but this looked like, so we had this trend line from this high here and this retest here. So this is the first, this is potentially a very good one because it's the first retest of the 50 EMA that we've had since this major breakout here. So let's go in a little bit more detail on this one. So there's major support. So we've had so on Friday we couldn't get back to this major support, and we're above the 50 EMA with a low value chart reading. So this is another potential candidate for a swing trade. Obviously, the only problem with this is we're now trapped between the 50 and the 200 EMA. Whereas the US dollar yen has got all moving averages above it once it breaks down below 91.5. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one. Just want to see if we can stay on this area. If we can move above that 8-day moving average, I would look for a long entry to see if we can bust up through this 200 EMA. Pound CAD. I'm still short the pound CAD. Called this on Wednesday. So we had this big sellers bar on Tuesday, pullback on Wednesday, a little bit of a retrace on Friday, but I am still slightly in profit on this one. So I'm still in this trade, but I basically just kept my stop above the 50 EMA on this one. I know at least one or two others in the team are short this one as well, so well done. Obviously we've got a lot of support down here. My target is 148.35. Let's see if we can get there. Value chart readings getting to the low side. If you're not in this at the moment, you could take a short to ideally 150.90 if we get it, which would be a retest of resistance from that Wednesday's low, and that could potentially, you have to have a stop right up here, so you have to have relatively, so the risk reward ratio is not great. Pound yen, this has got potential moves to the downside, I think. There's a key area here from this price action here and here. So a retest of 133.90 could see further falls coming right back down. So the risk reward ratio is good on this one. Got the potential to come right down to 126.77, and you've only got to have a stop up here at 135.30, or even slightly tighter. So a pullback to 133.90 with a stop at 135.30 is potentially good. So these pound pairs are nice. So pullback to 133.90. Finally, let's look at the pound. So it came off this major resistance up here and here. If we can get a pullback to 20 EMA at 146, I think that would be potentially a good short. You have to have a stop right up here above 147.57. So it's a 150 point stop for a potential to come down to here. So I think the pound yen and the US dollar yen are the best options. So that's all I've got. Let's have a quick look at what data is coming out. Very little on Monday. Core price inflation on Tuesday for the pound. Not a great deal. Keep your eye on when that data is. I made a mistake on Friday and completely forgot the major US retail sales coming out. Big mistake for me. It cost me potential earnings on the pound. So do keep your eyes out on this data and don't make the same mistake I made on Friday. Any questions, email me or Skype me, and look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks guys.